Hey everybody, there's a lot of people very excited about the next 40-day challenge, so I wanted to answer some questions. There's a lot of you who didn't do the first two, so let me just explain what's going on here for those of you that don't know. The very first challenge was in response to COVID. Back in March, there was an assumption that maybe we're going to lose 5 to 10% of the population. And so I started that challenge explaining to people really everything that's on this board up here, all relating to how the immune system works. It started with digestion, then we went into the gut microbiome, we went into mitochondrial health, breath work, what nitric oxide does. We talked about sleep and insomnia and its effect on the immune system. We talked about cytokine storms and oxidative stress, different vitamins and minerals that support the immune system, including vitamin D3, NAC, zinc, copper, selenium. We talked about fasting and cellular autophagy. We talked about meditation and heart health and meat and saturated fat. I actually did 3 different parts on that. Gave you guys some recipes, different workouts, thyroids, and what your thyroid does and what different hormones do in the body, including testosterone and estrogen. And we talked about thyroid way down here. We were also talking about iodine. And speaking of iodine, we talked about salt, because if you don't use it, you should definitely be using an iodized salt if you don't eat seafood, especially to help support that thyroid. We talked a lot about fish oil and PUFAs and statins and CoQ10 and how to do HIIT work and on. I had to stop there because I ran out of room on the damn paper. We talked about a whole bunch of topics, and what's more important about those topics is the timing in which they came out. So if you go back and look at those videos in March and April, you'll see the conversations that I was having were way before you saw anything on the news. That's why I left them posted. I challenge you to find anybody else that was reporting on the significance of these topics regarding the immune system before you started seeing headlines in the news about what's effective for COVID. And it's ironic because it's not that we didn't know how the immune system works, but the more advanced conversation is what I was after. If you just listen to the digestion, the very first video I did a half an hour talking about it's not what you eat, guys, it's what you absorb, and how important your digestion is in terms of getting all those important vitamins and minerals into your body, as well as emulsifying fats in your intestines. So this 40-day challenge, I'm going to do a lot of things that kind of combine a lot of things. The very first day, I'll kind of review this stuff, the important highlights of what we went over the first literally 80 days. Those videos were anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes long, so obviously it's going to be super nitpick. But I want you guys to understand, hey, these are the things we talked about. These are the bulletproof highlights. If you guys want more detail, the videos are in the YouTube channel, and I will tell you, listen to day 1, listen to day 4, listen to day 8 if you want more details. From there, we'll talk about workout structures. I want to talk a lot about losing fat as opposed to muscle, gaining muscle as opposed to fat. So we're going to talk about workout structures. We're going to talk about how to lose weight, because it really does matter. Some of this stuff will be familiar to you guys about how and why I designed the 250-page UTC manual the way I did, and I'll explain exactly based on science why you need to do the things that are in there if you're looking to lose fat, gain muscle, and what happens if you don't? What happens if you're a vegan? What happens if you don't exercise? What happens if you go into a calorie deficit and you eat mostly carbs? Will you still lose weight? Yeah, you'll still lose weight, but there's something else that will happen too. I'm going to go into a lot of that, and I'm going to go into different strategies and some of these things you guys have heard before, but the devil is in the details. So we will talk more detail about fat loss, muscle gain, exercise. I'll talk about recipes. I will go into, obviously, more stuff regarding your immune system, digestion, some newer research. I'll have Jordan on different interviews. I will answer all of your questions. So I will do a Q&A day, and it'll be a lot of info. but I'm gonna try to keep the videos to no more than 10 minutes this time instead of 20. I think 10 minutes is very digestible for everybody. And then of course, those of you doing the challenge with me, I will answer all of your questions via text or email. And some of those questions I will do on a video. I'll do a Q&A day. I will keep you anonymous. If you want to be anonymous, it's no big deal. I generally don't mention people's names unless you want me to. Some people have very specific things going on, so I will keep those questions to you because I want to make it as direct to the general population as I can. So if you have very specific things going on, I may not answer that on these videos, but you know, if you have a question, other people may have the same question. Some people figure things out for themselves in terms of, hey, you said to do this, that, and the other thing, and here's what I started to do. And hey, I'm like, wow, that's a great idea. Let me share it with everybody else. So 40-day challenge, guys, it's really a way of presenting information, implementing habits into your life based on science, me explaining to you what these downstream effects are, what to expect, why they're so important, pass it along to your kids, pass it along to mom and dad. And, you know, by the way, some of the other things we went over was just being neuroprotective. So much of what we see is cognitive decline as people get older. So how do we keep mom and dad healthy in terms of cognitive function? There are ways that we know we can do that now. Again, based on the science. So you'll see me in the videos link a lot of stuff to MedCram, which is peer-reviewed longitudinal studies, and you guys can investigate further yourself if you wish. Sometimes I link other videos. Sometimes I link other authors to books, things like that nature. But the point is, guys, the 40-day challenge I run not as a 40-day challenge to say, hey, who can lose as much weight as fast as possible? You'll learn why that is a horrible strategy. You'll learn why 95% of all dieters, I'm gonna say this 3 times, 95% of all dieters will put all of the weight back on and more within 2 years. That is a statistical fact. Let me say it again. 95% of all dieters, meaning if you took 1,000 people who are all on a diet right now, they say, I'm on a diet, I'm on a diet, I'm on a diet. 95% of them, which means that 950 of those 1,000 will be the same weight or heavier within 2 years. That means that 50 of them are either 0.0001 pounds lighter, you know, or they could be 10 pounds lighter, 20 pounds lighter, meaning that only 5% of dieters are successful in the long run. And I'm gonna explain the reason for that. I'm gonna explain what's happening there, and I'm gonna explain why these crash diets don't work and what it does to your body long term, again, based on science. So I'm excited. I will keep putting out some teasers to you guys until we start on Friday, October 16th. But until then, guys, stay tuned in if you have questions, if you have things that you want me to answer. But the challenge is gonna be $119 to join, and that's gonna include all the videos, the questions and answers, answering your texts. If you guys need to, need to get on a phone call together in order to be more specific on things, that's what we'll do. But guys, it's less than a cup of coffee a day. So hopefully you support the cause, support each other, jump on board. And if you're in, send me a text, let me know. But I'm excited, guys. Have a great day, everybody.